hello. Welcome to Sometimes Video Games. Realised that, funnily enough, my Stream Deck wasn't working completely as I wanted, and it decided not to switch to the podcast scene. Either way, it's there now. Hello. Welcome to Sometimes Video Games. I'm Adam, and I'm joined, as per usual, by the sleepy boy. Yeah, Charlie.
Is that my new bit?
Yeah.
My new bit.
If I was you, Charlie, I would not want to be called that. Do not fucking take that shit.
I'll take it. Oh man, you know, it's fine with me.
You're okay with being the sleepy boy?
Yeah, but you have to say it in that exact tone of voice.
In the uwu. Yeah.
Sleepy boy.
It was more. It was
less uwu, but yeah, it was more like baby.
It was more like how someone talks to their baby, or alternatively their dog.
True. Yeah.
which is the same.
I'd like you to be my dog, Charlie, or my baby.
Charlie, you are a dog.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
How are you today, Charlie?
Yeah, sleepy, man.
That's why I said it.
No, I'm alright. I went for a walk. I went out for it yesterday.
Oh shit.
I went for a walk and stuff with my mum, and I'm very tired today. I'm very, very.
Are you tired because of the walk, or for other normal reasons?
No, I've slept an okay amount. I'm just tired.
Really?
I think I'm just exhausted. I think I'm just generally exhausted.
I mean, that makes sense.
Sleep the days previous, and then I was like, what if I walked really far? And right, so I was wearing two pairs of socks.
Why?
I was wearing like thinner ones and thicker, nicer, fluffier ones for warmth and for comfort reasons, right?
Okay.
And I do that most of the time. And
you wear two pairs of socks most of the time.
Yeah, bigger, fluffy ones for like warmth and stuff. In this economy, you can't put the heating on anyway. So I put the shoes on and I went out. Right, I didn't think about it. Now the shoes, they're the only pair of shoes I've worn the entirety of pandemic, right? I got them right at the beginning of pandemic. I haven't worn any other shoes apart from those, right?
Sure.
And I didn't realize how worn out the back of the heel on one of them was.
Yeah.
And you know how like when it wears out, it starts to tear, and then the innards are just there. So the innards is like the plastic bit jutting out, and it was jutting out so much that it tore through two pairs of socks. It tore through the first pair, then the second pair, and it just started like digging into my heel like really badly.
Oh fuck!
And when we were halfway through the walk, I was like, my foot is really hurting, like hurting way more than it should. I don't know what's wrong with it. So I sat down on a bench, and I took my shoe off, and it like the hole was like practically my entire sock was just disintegrated. It's just torn it open, and I was like ripping into my skin. And I was like, fuck, this is so painful. But obviously the problem with walks is you have to walk back as well. So...
I mean, you could get a taxi, maybe. I don't know, but
yeah, but it's just too expensive. So I ended up walking.
Yeah, in London as well. Yeah, no fucking way.
I ended up walking all the way back, again, which took maybe that time and again maybe twice as long, 1.5 times as long, better to get back because my foot was in so much pain. But I had to I twisted the socks round. So they were the wrong way round, but so there was at least fabric between the bit that was cutting my skin. I get you. So yeah, no, I'm just really tired today and in pain. But
also,
I've slept enough. It's probably just the other stuff.
I mean, probably yeah. Also joined by Louis Birtwistle. How are you today?
I'm good, man.
Good. That's good.
Really good. Thank you for asking, Adam.
Having a nice time. Are you doing anything fun?
I've been playing a ton of Destiny. I've been.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Me and a friend have made a speedrunning team, and we're gonna run the new raid. No one has submitted a time on the leaderboard yet.
That's cool.
So
you could be the fastest for a bit, right?
Definitely not. Well, with the current information, like this is the slowest raid we've had in terms of speedrunning.
Really?
Like we're expecting a competitive time to be between 20 and 25 minutes.
Okay.
That's long.
Is that long for Destiny? Fair enough.
seeing as every other raid in the game is sub 20 minutes.
Ah, I see. I understand. I understand. Good.
But yeah,
yeah.
it's gonna be fun. It's quite difficult, and there's a lot of stuff and nuances which not everybody's figured out yet. Like, there's still stuff being learned about this raid.
That's good. That's
So
always what we
yeah,
enjoy.
I need to touch grass. Bad.
Fair play. Fair play. Talk about pain. I've been in a lot of fucking pain this week.
Yeah, I noticed. That's why we didn't play fucking Grim Fandango together. I was really upset with Adam. How dare you be so selfish and be in pain? Oh, look at me, I'm Adam and I'm in pain.
I know. I'm still in a bit of fucking. Even though I'm having these painkillers, I'm still in a bit of pain. It's not even fucking funny. I'm like moving back and forth because my back's in a bit of a fuckery right now.
Real men don't feel pain. That's a bit of toxic masculinity for you there, Adam. I hope you enjoyed that.
I did enjoy it. It was great. Thank you. Yeah, I've fucked my knee up. That's been fun. Like all Monday and Tuesday, I was just like in bed, like, oh, I can't walk. This isn't good. It's really not fun. I'm on pills now.
Was there lots of visual swelling, Adam?
Yes. Yeah. I think the swelling was it's gone down now, to be fair, but yeah, I think the swelling was one of the big.
Can I be the first to say, ugh?
What swelling?
Just having a big old think about your foot swelling.
It's not my foot. It's not my foot. You don't have to worry about feet. It's fine. It's my knee.
Okay. Oh, okay. I retract.
So it's not diabetes.
No, it's not. It's not diabetes. It's not diabetes. It's my knee, not my foot. It's like an arthritic pain in my knee, which, as you can imagine, makes it very difficult to fucking walk. And also painful to just exist, which is real fun. But I'm on some medication now, so that's all good. It's all good. It really helped the first time I took these tablets, but also I'd realised that I've been dragging myself around the house the last 3 days before I got the new painkiller stuff, and everything just aches now. It's like my entire body's been in overdrive, just dragging myself around the house so that I can eat or go to the bathroom or drink or whatever.
I remember once buying new shoes.
Mm.
I was away to see my grandparents, and while I was there, like my granddad was like, my granddad, legendarily cheapskate.
Oh.
Even he was like, Charlie, this shoe is ridiculous because it was falling apart. There was like, there was literally a hole through the sole of the shoe, and I'm not talking about like a hole, like a little hole where you feel water come through. No, I'm talking about you could literally look through it like a porthole. He was like, Charlie, even this is just out of control. You need to go get some shoes. So I went to the Sports Direct, local to them, and I asked the woman in the shop. I was like, "Hey, can I get these shoes in size 12?" And she when she came back and gave it to me, and I was trying them on. And as I took off my old shoe and was putting on the new one, she picked it up and she looked at me through the hole, and she went, "What do you do? Shuffle everywhere? How's this happened?" And I was like, "Bruv, don't ask questions, you know."
I don't know how this. I feel like I have a real similar thing. Didn't this happen to most of the shoes? Do you get a hole in the same place in every shoe?
Yeah, I feel like it's just something we do where we walk in a specific way or something.
Mine's in the not in the back, not in the sole, but like in the front near my toes. Like there just becomes a big hole where my big toe is supposed to, like the ball of my big toe is, in every single pair of shoes that I've ever owned, and I have no fucking clue why.
I think we're just weirdos.
Maybe it's because I can't walk properly. Maybe it's because I put a lot of pressure on that part of the foot. I don't know. You know, it's weird, and I've had to, like, because you were talking about the sock story before. I've had to walk around with like holes in socks on bare pavement before. It's
you could say,
weird.
you know, You know the base. You know where I get my holes? I usually get like a big one across. You know, at the base of your toes, where there's like that big, all those big joints that like touch the ground.
Yeah.
I always get a big line across there.
Oh, you get a big line there. Okay, that's interesting.
Well, it starts off as a hole when the big toe is, and then becomes a line.
Oh. Oh. Yeah, I get a hole. I don't think I ever get a line there. That's weird.
Our issues for weight, or my most common issue is that the sole starts to split away from the shoe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I think my
don't have
problem
that
is a mixture of wearing them for too long and also buying the cheapest shoes in the shop.
Yeah, that might also be an
I
issue
think
there.
that's
Yeah.
my other issue.
You're not entirely wrong there.
You need to get some nice crepes, bruv.
You say that, but CBA, bro. You know?
You're not into shoes, Charlie.
Honestly, genuinely, this is the technique, right? I go into Sports Direct, now owned by Game or whatever. I go into Sports
No,
Direct.
Game. Sports Direct owns Game.
I go to they're owned by the Fraser Group, so technically they're owned by House of Fraser. But
Sure.
I go into Game. Oh fuck no! I go into Sports Direct, and I go and I find the shoes which are black on black on black on black. I just want the blackest shoes possible, and that are the cheapest possible in the shop. And then I buy them in a size 12, and then I leave the shop. And most of the time I don't even try them on. No,
You don't try them on?
Just CBA. Just grab them and go.
Always try them on. Like, you don't know when you get home, then they don't fit properly, and you're like, oh fuck, this isn't.
Look, I think Adam, you should start. There's something you need to understand about Charlie. Is that he puts the least amount of effort into life, and it's frustrating to the point where I just choose not to talk about it with him anymore.
That's a bit harsh.
It's harsh, Charlie, but it's the fucking truth.
He's not wrong.
I wouldn't say this. I wouldn't say it if I didn't love you, Charlie.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Like, I would argue, but I can't be asked.
Fair play. Oh, what have you been up to this week, Charlie?
What have
You don't even know.
That's a good question. What have I've done? No, I did some work. Horizon's it really. I've watched a lot
Zero
of
Dawn
films and Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm at the end of Horizon.
You lost a lot of films. What films have you watched?
I watched Her. I watched Joker. I
Oh.
watched The Devil Wears Prada.
Okay.
I think I watched another film, but I've forgotten it.
You think?
Yeah, I can't confirm, but I feel like I did.
Good.
I feel like I did. Her, Joker, Devil Wears Prada. Oh, and what's that vampire film?
It's a good question.
Maybe. Hang on, I'm typing. Is it this one? Is it that one? Oh, what was it? Oh, Interview with the Vampire.
Oh, the kind of old one with Brad Pitt's in it, right?
Yeah. But more importantly, fucking what's his name's in it? Tom Cruise. He's incredible in it.
Oh, is he?
He's in a bad. Well, I look the film without him. I don't. He's the best by far in that film, but he's not the best actor. But just the way his performance is unreal.
Sure.
It's so chaotic in the best possible way.
I really want Charlie's movie reviews to be a thing.
So we watched Her.
Yeah.
Do you know the film Her? It came out like 2013-ish.
I actually don't. I've heard of it, but I don't know it very well.
So the way my girlfriend described it to me before we watched it is it's like wholesome. It's like a more wholesome Black Mirror.
Okay.
So the concept is there's the main character played by Joaquin Phoenix is a letter. His job is to like write love letters for people to their spouses.
Okay.
Or like romantic letters or nice letters. So
Yeah. Okay.
So he writes these letters for people, and then there's a new OS that comes out for computers, which is an AI, which is meant to improve everyone's lives, and it's about essentially his relationship with an AI that is his computer, a kind of thing. and it goes on for a while, right? Anyway, I'm trying to avoid spoilers. 'Cause
Sure,
there's a lot
yeah,
of
sure,
spoilers
sure,
that you
sure,
can
sure,
very easily
sure.
point to, but it's essentially
Sure.
that, right? So we were watching it, and I was like, do you know what? This feels like it could be. Like it's a positive film in a lot of ways. It's difficult, it's whatever. He has like relationships that he goes in and out of and all this other sort of stuff. And I was like, this feels like it could be the prelude to Joker. I've never seen Joker, but I was like, this is why he becomes the Joker, because it's also Joaquin Phoenix. And then we
Okay.
jokingly went, should we watch the Joker? And we did. So then we watched
Hmm.
Joker the next day. And it's 100%. It's
Did it fit?
like her is the prelude to Joker. I don't care what
Okay.
anyone says. So we watched Joker, which was all right. Then we watched Interview with the Vampire because my girlfriend was like, "Oh my god, we have to watch this film. I haven't seen it in years."
I get that.
It's wild. The end is it ends as strong as it's possible for a film to end. I have never seen an ending of a film. I literally out loud went, "Oh my god, it was incredible." The end of that film is so good. The final scene of that film is incredible.
Interview with the Vampire.
And then I've interviewed the vampire, and then we watched Devil Wears Prada because I just really wanted to watch it.
Fair. Is that a big Charlie film?
I've never seen it. I just felt like I'd probably like it. It's just Ugly Betty again, isn't it? But it's good.
Sure,
Very
yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's also whenever it was, 2006 or whatever it was. So like, it has the soundtrack from like, I love the soundtrack because it's all
From
just sort of
Devil Wears
vibey
Prada.
songs from 2006.
Mm.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And then
Enjoy.
Horizon Zero Dawn. That's what I've really done today. That's what I've really done this week. And work. But
Yeah, I mean,
it's Interview with a Vampire. Here's the review of all of them. Her, I think, is a good film. I think everyone should watch it.
okay.
I think her, well, not everyone should watch it, but I'm like, if you're in the mood for a sort of, like I said, it's near future. It's relatively wholesome. It's sort of a love story with like technology elements in it, with like the OS and all that sort of stuff. If you're looking for something vaguely interesting, it's a bit dated at this point. Because it was sort of like a lot of it is based around technology, but it's from 2013, and obviously that exists in the world now, so it's a bit difficult. But yeah, it's a good film. I think it's good. The Joker is pretty good.
Yeah.
Joker's pretty good. It's all right.
Not
surprised it blew
the
up in the way
best
it
film
did.
ever. Yeah.
I'm surprised it blew up in the way it did.
Why are you surprised?
I think the second half is really good, but I think the first half is. I don't think the setup for the whole thing is just a bit weird to me. I don't think
for
it
what for
fully
his
sort of.
his mental breakdown thing, or
I just. So I assume you've both seen it.
I have not, no, but I understand what happens in it.
But that's the thing. I think this is the thing. So we all understand what happens, and I think the film kind of plays fast and loose with the idea that we know what Joker is.
Okay.
We know where the film is going to end. Obviously, he is the Joker.
Yeah,
we know the
becomes
Joker.
The jokey
Almost
boy.
everyone in society knows what the Joker is.
Oh, he's the Joker, man.
And so,
Yeah,
like,
that one, yeah.
I think it not plays fast and loose, but I think it just doesn't quite. I don't think it delivers on the like it doesn't like by the time he starts being the Joker, it doesn't quite feel like to me. And I mean, you could argue when that is in the film. I guess what I'm saying is the first time he kills a person, it doesn't feel like spoilers. The Joker kills people. It feels like it doesn't. I feel like it's not.
No,
I feel like
Joker would never do that.
It's not. I don't know. I'm like. I feel like this is early in the development. I feel like it shouldn't be here yet. I think it's out of order. Like everything before the second half of the film, after he's killed people and he's started to basically be the Joker.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, okay, I feel like at this point we're seeing more. Like from this point forward, I think the film's really good.
Where he's killing, really where he is the Joker and he's killing people.
Well, he's not. He's without wishing to spoil it. Just when he is sort of adopting the Joker personality. Let's say.
Yeah.
I don't want to say spoilers, but after essentially, I think you can split the film into two halves. You can before he kills someone and after he kills someone, right? And I think the first half, I feel like it's just all jumbled and out of order. I feel like there's bits that could happen up to that point, whereas it doesn't feel like he's fully. I don't feel like him becoming the Joker is almost justified in a way. I don't think it quite works that well. But the second half is really good and it ends really strongly.
Okay.
And as a Batman nerd, there was a lot of things in there I enjoyed. But
Are you a Batman nerd?
God, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Batman's my favorite superhero by a significant distance.
Well, no, but is he your favorite superhero, or are you a nerd? Like, have you read all the comic books and know everything?
All the comic books, but I have like I have paperbacks and all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
You know,
Didn't realize
so
that
there's
you
a lot
were
in there.
so big on Batman.
I watched all of Gotham.
You haven't watched the
Name
Batman
anyone.
yet, though.
No, not yet, because it's only out in cinemas.
I'm sure there are other
We've-
people
we've
who've watched
consi-
all
we've
of
consi-
Gotham.
We've considered not many. It ended.
Fair enough.
Also, the end of that show was wild. But anyway, the rocket launcher scene. If you've watched Gotham, you know what I'm talking about. What a scene. Anyway, yeah, Joker's is good, but I'm just surprised it blew up in the way it did. I think it ending strongly helps because you come out of it thinking, "Oh, okay, that was good." But as we were watching it, we were talking about how we just didn't quite feel like it was the Joker part of it was earned, if that makes sense. It just didn't feel like he. Like, has this guy really been pushed that far? Okay, fair enough. Like, obviously, he's in the film. He's supposed to have spent time in a mental health institute and stuff. So, you know, whatever. But I don't know. It's good. It's good, and there's some very good lines in it. I did enjoy it. And if you're into comic books, then I would highly recommend it because it is just. I think part of why it got so big is potentially as well that it's just so completely the opposite of what Marvel does. And because Marvel is the be all and end all of comic book films, especially at that time, like when Joker came out, it was literally like Endgame is coming to a head and all these other things.
Yeah, like the massive nonsense that they end up doing, and yeah, I get you.
Yeah, and because it's the exact opposite style of film to that, I think it helps. And Joaquin Phoenix is good in it, but yeah, I'm like that was a good 8 out of 10. I enjoyed that, but I don't. It seemed to just blow up in a big way, didn't it?
It absolutely did. But I think anything with superheroes in at this point is also just gonna blow up at any time, right?
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. I think that's probably fair. I think that's probably fair. Devil Wears Prada is a banger, and everyone should watch it because it's Devil Wears Prada. It's like it's got problems, that film. Don't get me wrong, but it's a banger. Oh yeah, An Interview with a Vampire. That film is. I feel like nothing happens in that film. It's so weird. Do you know the premise of it? Do you know the premise of Interview with the Vampire?
Isn't he interviewing a vampire?
Yeah, strangely that is happening. Yeah. So the premise is Brad Pitt is a vampire.
Yeah.
And what's the actor's name?
But why? Why is he a vampire, Charlie?
Well, so you find out. So Christian Slater is interviewing him. Now, the setup for the interview was unbelievably flimsy. I feel like they just were like, right, this is the premise we've gone with. It was a book by Anne Rice originally.
Yes,
right?
Anne Rice. Yeah.
But it was. I feel like she just went, right, this is, and I don't know in the book. I can't judge the book, so I'm just going to judge it as film because obviously I haven't read the book. But it feels like to me they just went, right, we need a reason for him to be interviewing a vampire because that's the premise we're going to go with. And they were like, I don't know. He was in an alleyway, and now he's interviewing a vampire. Like that seems to be what happened. There was no other reason. It just seemed to be, and like it's not even like he knew he was a vampire because Brad Pitt's character is explaining to him that he is a vampire. This is all the first 5 minutes of the film, by the way. So I'm going to avoid spoilers as much as possible. It's literally explaining to him, "Oh, I am a vampire." And then Christian says, "Like, oh, you really do believe that, don't you?" He was like, "Were you going to kill me in the alleyway?" And he's like, "Yes." And it's like, well, I don't understand why this interview's happening at this point, but whatever. So we then cut back. So Brad Pitt. So the idea is Christian Slater's character is someone who he's interviewing people for their life stories.
Sure,
Brad Pitt's like, "Oh, you're gonna have to have a lot of tape to get mine." And so he starts. So then we flash
Because I'm
back.
1,000.
Yeah, so we flash back to the 1700s when he became a vampire.
Oh, jeez.
Uh,
Sure, yeah.
which so then we so
Wait,
and the
wait,
film,
sorry. How long ago?
1700s.
Oh, right, I thought you said the 700s. I'm like, bruh, that's a long time.
I mean, it's still a long time, 1700s, isn't it? But yeah.
But yeah, so they flash back to the 1700s
Mm.
for when he became a vampire. He gets done in by fellow vampire Tom Cruise,
Mm.
who, as I said before, not the best acting in the film, but my favorite performance by such a distance because he is so wild and flamboyant, and it's just incredible. Especially so Brad Pitt's character is very just gloomy.
I mean, to be fair, he has been living as a vampire, and he doesn't want to be a vampire for the last however 100 years, you know?
Yeah, but at the beginning, so at the beginning, he becomes a vampire.
Mm.
He becomes a vampire via the method of Tom Cruise,
Mm.
and there's like and from that point onwards, he's just moaning about it all of the time. He's just moaning.
He's not reveling in the vampire fun.
And then and Tom Cruise is trying to get him to revel in the vampire fun. He wants him to be essentially him. He's his protege, his apprentice, whatever. And Tom Cruise is just, compared to that performance, he's incredible.
Mm.
He's so good. Like, he's just, and I think it's the perfect role for Tom Cruise, aka it's just a complete, just flamboyant, I don't even know how to describe it. It's incredible. Kirsten Dunst is in it as an 11-year-old.
Yeah.
And her before she is legitimately the best actor in that film. Like her
Oh, is
performance
she?
was incredible.
Is she 11 in that?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
she's 11, and I was like, she's just got the chops here, bro. She's got emotions going on and stuff. Antonio Banderas rocks up halfway through it. He's fun and good. That whole side note is wild. It's a weird film. I feel like not enough happens because it charts the course of Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt's life as a vampire from the 1700s. We then move into the 1800s. They're moving throughout Europe and America. They're going to different places, New Orleans, Paris, and it sort of tracks their life. But I said this at the end when we finished it. I was like, I feel like nothing happened in that film. I don't know why. Stuff did happen, but I just felt like nothing happened in it. But the end scene is so good. I can't describe. I wish I could spoil it. Because I don't want to spoil it for people.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. I wish I could spoil it because it's so beautifully good. It's so good.
Nice.
Yeah. And I don't even want to say who's in it. Christian Slater's characters in it. I'll say that much. But,
distributed by Warner Brothers, so they could be in multiverses.
I'd love that. If Tom Cruise was in that.
Tom Cruise, vampire-less stats in multiverses.
My mains would be LeBron James and Tom Cruise.
Yeah, it would be.
But yeah, so that's mainly what I've done this week, and I'm almost at the end of Horizon.
How is Horizon for you? Are you really loving it, or?
It continues to be very good. Like fighting big robot dinosaurs just hasn't really got old.
Fair enough.
I thought it might at some point, and I've got better at fighting them. They're still quite difficult to take down, but I've got a sort of method now of beating them. But they just, like, the different dinosaurs and stuff it doesn't get old. The human enemies are boring.
Yeah, I get that.
They just sort of, there's three basic types. You have your melee weapon ones who just sort of run at you and try to just plap you up. You have your ranged ones who try to shoot arrows at you, and if you get close, they'll try to melee you, but they just stand back and shoot arrows at you. And then you have ones which have heavy weapons, who are usually way stronger. Because I'm at the stage now where I'm so like, I've got all the upgrades and everything, so I can just
waiting to finish. Basically,
I can run up to any human enemy. So I use a heavy attack on them first, which knocks them to the floor. And when an opponent is staggered on the floor, there's an ability unlock which means you can do a critical hit on them while they're on the floor.
Okay.
I've got to the stage now where every human enemy, apart from the big heavy weapon boss boys, every human enemy dies in 2 hits. I run up to them, I heavy weapon them onto the floor, and then I do a critical hit. They're down. Next question. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Thankfully, the human enemies they're not really that much of a thing. Like they've become a thing slightly more towards the end because of the story and everything else, but it's still not that many. And they never come at you in such big waves that it's like that it's a big issue, but they are just like slightly more boring and less dynamic, I guess, because they only really have one attack pattern. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You have the people who are going to come up and whack you. You have the people who are going to try and shoot you from range with an arrow. Or you have the people who are going to sort of mid-range you, but with a heavy weapon cannon thing. That's practically it. That like every other the robot dinosaurs have different modes of fighting. They have different ways of attacking.
Yeah, yeah.
They can shoot you from range. They can come up and melee you. They can melee you in different ways. They can shoot at you in different ways. Like especially the big boss robot dinosaurs where they have like 18 different ways they can kill you. And it's like that. It's just fighting them is way more. It's just fun. And yeah, the story's really good. I'm surprised. Like I lost it in the middle a little bit, where I got distracted by the open world and I was doing side quests. Pardon me, I was doing all the side quests and finding bits and pieces because it's an open world game. And
yeah,
the side quests in the first
what
one,
you do. Yeah,
I've heard the side quests in the second one are a lot better, but the side quests in the first one aren't very good, and I got completely lost in all that. I did it all. I did everything, and I was like, yeah, I'm enjoying the fighting of the big monsters, but every side quest is practically the setup might be different, but the rest of it is the same. It is.
Okay. Yeah.
You go to a place, something's happened, you talk to a person, you go to the next place they tell you to go to. There's like some robot there, you kill the robot, you track the person that left from that place to another. It was very, very similar. It was like 4-minute bam, 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 bam. And at that point, I was like, I'm enjoying fighting the dinosaurs, but nothing else.
Yes.
Whereas now, like the story, the main missions are really good, and I'm towards the end, and the story's picking up, and it's like it's kept me guessing.
Really?
And it's kept me guessing, and I've just got to the big reveal of the game, the big reveal of everything. And it's good. It's very good. It's very good, and I'm really, really enjoying it. After we're done here, I'm gonna go and finish
Play
it.
some more. You're gonna finish it. You I guess you're right at the end, right?
I think I don't know for certain, but I feel like I'm at the stage where, like, the mission I was on last night before I went to bed, it did that thing where one of the characters who's like one of your companions or whatever is like, oh, mate, there's no turning back when you start this, so make sure they say make sure if you've got any errands to make your peace with it or something like that.
I get yeah.
So I suspect the mission I was halfway through when I went to bed last
You're
night.
at the point of no return.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
I suspect.
So I've not been doing anything this week because I have been not okay. Which has left me a lot of time to sit there and do very little.
Sure.
Which is great, sort of. I've started feeling very old. It's not built up by me.
Welcome.
By me being injured or anything like that. That's just what it is. I was on Twitter earlier, and there's a person that I follow who follows me back. So we're mutual followers. I guess in a way we are friends. And he tweeted something like it was a Paramore music video, and the music video it was Still Into You, I think it's called. And he was like, ha ha ha, I remember when this came out, I was 9, lol. And I was like, what do you mean you were 9? I think I was... I remember when the first Paramore album came out, and I think I was in college. So the fourth Paramore album and you were 9, that made me feel incredibly old for a minute. I worked it out. I was like 24.
One of my friends has gotten really into one of those Twitter accounts, which just posts things that like, "Oh, you're old, but are you this old?" And then we'll post a thing, and I'm just like,
Yes,
I'm
I
like,
am.
I disagree with the process. I disagree with the premise here, but it is just, I'm just like, can you please stop? I don't need this in my life.
I don't need to feel old. Yeah, I was like, oh, the Paramore album is the one album you mentioned. I think I was 24 when it came out, and he was 9. I'm just like, oh shit. You know, like this person's an adult now, and I was an adult when this. I think not quite 24, but yeah, in my 20s at least, and he was 9. Like, well, when this album came out, I was an adult and you were a child, and now you're an adult and I'm an adult, and I feel very bad about that.
Yeah.
Like, specifically, like, oh, and it happened today as well. A YouTuber I follow called Sid Snap. It was Enter Shikari, because she'd retweeted Enter Shikari's tweet, saying their first album was 15 years old today,
Mm.
and I was like, oh. I remember listening to that in college and being like, hey.
In college.
In college. Because I remember interviewing them in college. I actually went to interview them. That was before their first album came out. Like in BTEC, like in my second year of college, I think. So like, fuck. You know?
How old were you 15 years ago, Adam?
I'm 32 now, so I would have been, what, 17?
Yep.
I
15 years ago, you were 17.
It's one of those that I keep forgetting how old I am, because I don't feel of an age in particularly. I don't feel like I look of a particular age either. Like I feel like I could still pull off being in my 20s, like mid-late 20s. But like when I just forget how old I am, and then I have to Google it to find out how old I am. I have to be like, wait, my birthday is here. How old am I again? Google, help. It's not. And then all of these like young people who are actually still they're young people, but they're adults. They're going, hey, I was like 20 years younger than you when this happened. I'm like, oh no, oh no, too old.
I mean, I was doing a show with someone the other day, and I said, and I made a joke, and the punchline was, it was something, and then I was like, but then again, I'm 28, and then I was like, oh my god, I'm 28. Like it
28.
just hit me in a way. I was like, oh my god.
It's it's a feeling, isn't it? I didn't feel that bad at 28. Now I'm 32, and I'm like, oh. Not good.
Yeah, but think about it this way: it's hit me at 28. So imagine what I'm going to feel like at 32.
True. The thing is, I was thinking
shrivel
about
up
it.
and die.
I was thinking about it today, and I was thinking like, no, I'm still young. Like, but I was thinking about the age that happens when I feel like you should be able to be called old. And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, it's not 32. Like 32 is still young, and that's not in an in denial thing. I genuinely think people in their 30s are young. Then I was like, what is that age? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so you're old when you were an adult when someone who is now an adult did not exist, right? I think that is the age at which you can call yourself
36.
old. So 36, yeah. Like
See,
twice 18.
I think there's a gap though. I think it doesn't go from young to old. I think you go from young to middle aged to old.
I mean, yeah, you go young to middle. So maybe that's what middle aged is. Maybe 36 is middle aged, right?
I don't know. I feel like middle age is like. I feel like you're talking at least 40s here.
Middle age is definitely 40s, like for sure.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
if you're having a midlife crisis at 36 and you're having an issue.
I'm not having one, but I know people that are.
Well,
I mean, well,
you know, But
We have. Well,
It's
I was
fine.
going to make I was about to make a joke about unvaccinated kids having a midlife crisis at 3.
What?
Jesus Christ.
Jesus. I don't know how you even. I don't know what that joke even is. I'll be honest.
It's that. That's the joke.
That they die at 6. Yeah.
Because they're unvaccinated.
Oh, Jesus, man. Yeah, I mean, you could do that. You could. Oh, why not? I guess. But in my spare time, I've been discovering things. You know, Wordle was the big thing. Have you still been doing Wordle, Charlie? Have you and Charlotte still been doing Wordle?
She's fallen off. I play it sort of every other day or something.
I play it every now and again because I still like the concept. I still feel like it helps to sort of get my mind going.
Yeah.
Especially as a writer and stuff like that. Like, I feel like it helps not improve my vocabulary because all of these words are words that I already know, obviously, but it helps me to think more about the words that I'm using, and I think that's really cool. But I found a couple of alternatives. It's not that
I suspect they're the exact same ones I've been playing.
Maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
Because it's
Yes, maybe. So the first one that I found was hilarious, and you're definitely not playing this one. There's a YouTuber I watch called Mecha, and he specializes in Fire Emblem content.
okay.
And some madman out there has created a Fire Emblem Wordle.
Yeah, no, I'm not playing that one.
No. But I've started playing it on like just the idea like, oh no, this will be fine, this will be fun, right? This will be stupid. I like Fire Emblem. It's awakened in me the idea of playing Wordle in another language.
Okay.
Because I like Fire Emblem, right? I've played most of the games in that series. There are probably like 4 or 5 in the series that I haven't played. I am just sat there like, what fucking word goes in this? Like, it's working out words that are of a foreign language using the actual alphabet, like the English alphabet. That's what it feels like at this point. Like, you're putting like Anir as the first word in there because it's Aenir, which is clearly good because it covers loads of vowels. But then you realize that none of those vowels are there, and then you just sit there and go, oh, there's no R or N, and there's no AERI. Wait, what's the word then? And it could just be like Zaxnock or something, and I'm like, oh. Cool. Good.
What's the other one?
So the other one I discovered yesterday, and I tweeted it. If you want to follow my tweets, you can see that. It's called Hurdle, not named after me.
Okay, yeah.
Not named after me.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
not
it's named
spelt-
after you.
not
You're
spelt
lying, man.
Not spelt like that.
No, it's not spelled. It's spelled Hurd as in listening, not Hurd as in HURD.
That's the one I assumed we'd both be playing.
Really? So
It's music.
it is music. I just found it out. I think I'd heard it, but not really given a shit. But then I clicked it the other day, yesterday, and I played a second of the first song yesterday. Immediately got it.
Yep.
Immediately got it. And I was like, oh, I found the Wordle that I'm good at.
Yeah, it's difficult. That one's it's a cool idea, but like, you're most of the time you're getting it in one or you're not getting it at all.
True. Although I'm surprised that so many people got this one in one. Like, so the one for yesterday, it was Daft Punk, Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger.
Oh yeah, I got that in one. Charlotte
Really?
didn't, but I did.
But because the first second's just white noise. In fact, the first 5 seconds are just white noise.
Yeah, but it's got.
It is a specific white noise. It is, yeah, it's a specific white noise. But like, obviously for me, that's really easy. I mean, I can turn around and look at my vinyl copy of that exact album, which I just did there. If I don't know if you can hear me turning around, but obviously it's like it's the first album I ever bought. It's something. It's whatever, right? Today's was easy as well. I didn't get it in 1, but I got it in 2 seconds.
did do it earlier, but I can't remember what it
I
was.
was like,
I think there are some. It's the thing is the best ones are the ones where you know what the song is, but you don't know the title. Like you're like, oh, I don't know what it's called. I don't know who it's by, and you're sort of waiting for like a sound. Oh, I remember. Yeah, I got it on the fourth.
Well,
Today was a good example.
That's what I got
I
from
got
today.
Stranger.
Yeah.
I got it on the fourth one.
Oh really?
Where
I got it
was
on.
like I was like, I know what this is. I've heard it a million times. I
Mm.
don't know who it is, and I don't know the song title.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
waiting until I heard like a
A
voice,
voice.
and I was
Yeah.
just trying to figure it out.
How many? Because I haven't played. I've only played 2 days of it, and I've got it in the first 2 seconds. Are they the is it seconds that it's split up into? So do you only get 6 seconds?
It increases.
It
So you have
increases, yeah.
the first second, the second, then I think it's 4 seconds. It
Mm.
goes up to. I think it goes up to 15. I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't
that
remember
gets a lot easier then. Yeah.
I don't remember exactly how it splits up, but
Yeah, I was just like, you know what? I think I'm good at a Wordle. Like, it has absolutely no help in real life. Like, this is not helping any real life skills, but I think I might be good at Hurdle. There you go, Charlie. All of my listening to music has paid back in some way.
on a game
On
gets you nothing.
Game that gets me nothing. I think I will definitely continue to play Hurdle, mostly because I'm good at it, not because of any other reason.
I heard it was good. I like Hurdle.
But yeah, it's fun. So you can play those if you want. There's obviously Wordle. If you want to play the Fire Emblem Wordle, if anyone listening to this is interested in that and enjoys Fire Emblem, just type in Sol Catty Wordle, SOLKATTI. Just a weapon from one of the Fire Emblem games. It's just all Fire Emblem terms. Like, there's not even normal words in there unless that word is also a Fire Emblem term. It's weird. And Hurdle as well.
I mean,
Heardle.
Yeah, I was gonna say because you can find Wordles for everything now. I mean, like,
Yeah.
there's a wrestling one which I can't remember the name of,
There's
which I don't play. There's Worldle, which is where it shows you the outline of a country.
I saw that because someone was playing it because obviously GeoGuessr ends up in my fucking mentions now because we enjoyed GeoGuessr. We enjoy a bit of GeoGuessr, and some of that happens.
We do a bit of geo-guessing.
We do. There's a guy, I find him very funny. He's on YouTube and he just does shorts. He just quizzes people about geography, and now I know all of the stuff because I know all of the GeoGuessrs. Right?
The one he has a sort of slightly higher. He's a sort of soft. He speaks kind of soft.
He speaks very softly, and he speaks like every language in the world somehow.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. I don't remember his name at all. He just pops up on YouTube Shorts, and he's just like, "Hello, I speak every language that has ever existed." And I'm like, "Oh Jesus Christ, who is this man?" Like a recent one where he's just like speaking, like, "Do you speak this language?" to a person in like every he's in French, and they're like, "No." And then he does it in Spanish, and they're like, no. And then he does it in like some Arabic language, and like, no. Asian, like, no. Like, oh my god, man, this man is incredibly talented. I don't understand how.
That, or he knows very specific phrases in a lot of.
I mean, true. He probably does.
I think is more what happens.
Yeah, he probably does. He probably is not like incredibly fluent, but he does know enough of these languages to speak on an Omegle call for like 30 seconds or whatever, right? Which is pretty impressive.
I mean, edited down, but yeah.
Yeah.
He's good. He's good. His videos are alright as well. But yeah, there's Worldle. There's Loodle, which is.
Oh, I know. Yeah, Loodle. Was that Gary Whitta that did that?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I thought you said Gary Glitter for a second, and I'm
Jesus.
like, what?
Was that Gary Glitterloodle? Yeah, no.
Gary Gliddle. There we go. I'm making that.
Oh, don't do that one.
No, I won't do that one.
How many 5-letter words can you make that have anything to do with Gary Glitter?
No, we're not digging deeper into this. We're not.
I can think of more than a few.
We're not digging into this. This is just gonna go wrong, and I don't want it to. So.
Sure. Carry on with the Wordles. I don't know. I
don't want to anymore.
Oh, Charlie!
He's gotten sad now because of, I mean, rightfully so, I guess. Rightfully so.
Really?
I mean, it's sad to get right over. It's right to get sad over Gary Glitter.
I suppose.
I believe, yeah. Oh dear. So I did have an interesting topic that I wanted to ask you guys. You guys' opinion on actually. At this point, it came up today on Twitter because all of my life is on Twitter this week. I was talking to someone. So the one thing that I think there is one thing that kind of, I guess, not annoys me, but maybe like pokes at me a little when talking about like video games and art and stuff like that. And it's when someone doesn't like a thing and then calls it bad. And I'm like,
Sure.
but is it bad? Or do you just not like it? Because there's a difference, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I feel like there's a difference. Well, the conversation essentially was like, nah, because there is no objective good and bad in art, which I agree with. But I think there are ways to measure like things that are, good and bad within the art. Like the whole art as its own piece. So like if we're talking paintings, for example, not that I know a lot about paintings, but like the art, you have a big painting on the wall, like the fucking Mona Lisa, as we were talking about at one point. The Mona Lisa, right? You can enjoy it or you can not enjoy it, and whatever you do with that is up to you. But like on a deeper level, you can criticize what's good and bad about the Mona Lisa as well. You can be like, this is technically good about the Mona Lisa, this is technically not good about the Mona Lisa, right? Not that I know about Mona Lisa, I mean, it's probably easier to talk in video game terms, but I don't know, I just wanted to know what you guys thought about the idea, the concept of I don't like this game, so it is bad, or I do like this game, and it is good, despite the fact that it might not be a very good game, but you can still enjoy it.
A lot of games that are objectively terrible.
You like a lot of games that are objectively terrible. Like what?
I would argue Gears of War. Maybe the franchise as a whole, I think, is objectively terrible.
I don't think Gears of War is objectively terrible.
I really like it.
I don't think those games are objectively bad, though. You know? What's bad about them objectively?
I don't know. Like the gunplay isn't that good. The movement's horrendous.
The movements,
like everything's beige.
It's not pretty to look at. I'll give it that.
Everything's just beige or brown.
Sure. Do you think Gears of War is technically bad, Charles? I don't think Gears of War is technically bad.
No, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was pretty, but I think maybe this is proving me wrong here. That Louis is like, no, this is a bad game, and not just because you love the game, right? You absolutely love Gears of War.
Oh, I love Gears of War. Yeah, I'm not even kidding.
Whereas
I really like it.
I don't like Gears of War, but I can see the obvious quality and the obviously enjoyable parts within Gears of War. You know, I can see where it's not great as well, though. Like I can see where you're coming from, especially with like the visuals and the movement. Like I don't think the visuals
the visuals have changed,
great.
right? They're no longer.
I don't think they're as brown. Yeah, I don't think.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if we're talking Gears of War 1 and 2 and whatever, then yeah, my God, please, any colors would be nice. But
yeah,
I don't know if that's still true. I mean, I haven't played. To be fair, I haven't played any Gears of War since Gears of War 2. But
Gears of War 2 is my favorite by far.
But I know when I played Gears of War 4 for like 20 minutes at one of my old jobs because the one where I used to do gaming parties and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was setting up a bunch of machines that had Gears of War 4 on it. And while I was waiting for the clients to turn up for the party, I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just play Gears of War for a short amount of time."
Yeah.
And there were colors in it, so so it wasn't. Don't get me wrong.
There were colors in it. Oh no.
Rayman Origins, but there's colors in it, so
yeah.
I don't know if that's still true, but I think it's good. It's pretty good. And I don't think the gunplay is that bad. I don't think it's bad. I wouldn't say the gunplay is bad. Movement's annoying. Movement
is. I will absolutely agree with the movement being annoying, and probably part of what made me, whilst playing it, actively go, I don't like this.
Yeah. It's not Vanquish, is it?
Because I particularly dislike restricted movement in things. I was thinking about like the whole Dark Souls stuff as well, because obviously Elden Ring's everywhere, and like part of why I don't enjoy playing Dark Souls is because I find my movement is very restricted. And I find it difficult to move around like as freely as I would like to.
I wouldn't call it restrictive. I would call it.
It's purposefully so. It's purposefully so to add a sense
but I still
of.
wouldn't call it. I
Whatever.
don't think it. Again, I don't think restrictive would be the word I would use. I would use like, because like I would call Gears of War restrictive, right? Because like the character's always facing forward and its movement is like. Like you're running through mud constantly.
It's very that's a perfect description for Gears of War. It's like you're running through mud.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, it is.
Like I think it's just slow. Dark Souls is just slow.
Yeah, sure.
Like I wouldn't call it restrictive. It's slow, and when you do something, you commit to it because it's so slow. Like animations play out, so it's like I wouldn't call it restrictive. It's more just like it's like playing it. It's like playing a game at half speed.
Yes.
Because like you can move in any direction you can want. It's like it's not like Gears of War where you're moving in straight lines.
Yeah, you're just like I go forward. That is all. Yeah.
Yeah, you can move in whichever way you want, but it's just so slow.
I don't think.
Speaking of, sorry, Adam, carry on.
I don't think it's that kind of restriction that I meant though. It's not that you can't move in certain areas. I think you're restricted in terms of speed and I kind of the dedication to the sort of animation. Like there's no like get off me kind of like get away quick that kind of thing. I don't know. I enjoy because I've been playing Hollow Knight not this week but last week, and part of what I enjoy about that is just how fast I can move if I want to. And that still has the same. I don't know if it's the same sort of punishment as like punishing ways as Dark Souls, because I'm not there with that with either game yet, really. But I think it's got a similar idea behind how it plays out. But just the idea of being able to move quick is, and it's in fact I'm playing the Stranger of Paradise, the Final Fantasy Origin thing.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And that's kind of like Souls-like, right? I was playing the demo of that last week. And that's kind of Souls-like-ish.
The more I see of it, the more I think it isn't. But it's
yeah, I agree. The more I see of it, the more I think it isn't. It's Souls-like-ish. And then I got to a point in the demo where I was like, oh, what does White Mage do? Oh, I can learn haste. This means that I can move as fast as like fucking Sonic on speed, basically, right? For no reason other than I can. And that's when I started enjoying the game more. I got actively worse at the game because I wasn't thinking about where I was attacking, but I enjoyed the game more because I was just like, look, I'm so fast, what the fuck? You know?
Zoom.
Yeah, like White Mage go burr, I think I tweeted. Like, it's because that was what it did. I don't know. Yeah. It's a weird one. What were you going to say, Lou?
Something about like what I think are mechanically slow or just mechanically bad games. The early Assassin's Creed games. I don't know if I'm only saying the early ones because I've not played any of the later ones.
That's
so, like there was a period of time where I was like, I just gave up on getting an Assassin's Creed character to move where I'd want them to go. It was just like I would like do an input, right? I'd press an input, and then half a second later, the character would do it.
Really? That seems interesting.
If that makes sense. Yeah, like moving or changing directions while moving. It was like you would turn.
Oh yeah, I know. I get it.
It's like half a second later, the fucking character would actually do the turning.
I understand what you mean by that. I don't know whether I would call I saw a few things on this online actually recently, which really interested me. There's a journalist called Gene Park. Works for, I think it's the New York Times. I'm not sure if it's the New York Times. It's something like that. And he's apparently a really big Assassin's Creed fan. He was talking about how the Assassin's Creed fan base don't like the new Assassin's Creed games. which I found very interesting. Like they prefer the old ones. They feel like Assassin's Creed has like lost its soul or something on the way.
Yeah, it's because they're so different now.
Yeah, they're very different now. Yeah. But I don't know whether like I would call Assassin's Creed, like the old Assassin's Creed games, particularly bad. Maybe they are. Maybe I'm not sure, but
They're a great example of you know when you go back and you play like GoldenEye and you're like, this control's like fucking garbage. It's really similar to that, but in a modern setting where you're like,
really?
to climb this wall you have to hold 8 different buttons at the same time, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't think it's like, at the time I think it was just like whatever. We just didn't think about it because it was the first thing that really let you do anything like that.
Yeah,
But
maybe,
now
yeah.
when you play it, it's just like, it's like Horizon's a good example, right? When I want to climb up something in Horizon, I just move the analog stick towards it and then I climb up it. I
Sure,
don't
yeah,
have to
yeah.
think. That's all I need to do.
Mm.
Whereas in Assassin's Creed, you have to hold like the run button,
you do, yeah.
this button. You have to press X. You have to do this. You have to do that. There's just a lot of like that sort of clunkiness that is like present in early like games that do stuff for like the first time, and it's just inelegant, you know. It's really clunky.
I get that.
I don't know. Like you say, I don't know if I'd go as far as to call it bad, but I certainly wouldn't call it enjoyable in any stretch of an imagination.
But I got to thinking about games that games that do it the other way round. You know, that are technically games that are technically good, but like are not enjoyable. You know, I think that's kind of easier to pinpoint than in video games specifically, than games that are technically bad that are enjoyable, are technically good that are not enjoyable. I don't know. Not sure which way around I'm going on this. Technically bad, yeah. I don't think there are many games that are technically bad that are enjoyable, but I think there are plenty of games that are technically good that are not enjoyable, right? Or depending on who you are. Like I could say, like the example I thought of was GTA 5. Like I'm not a particularly big fan of GTA 5, but I can see that it's a good game and it's a well-made game, and like there's a lot of like good stuff going on there, right? But when it comes to games that are just technically bad, like I think someone brought up Sonic 06, and like people enjoy Sonic 06. I have no idea why, but
the same reason people like The Room, you know.
I don't know if that is the reason why people like Sonic 06 or not. But there is The Room is the good example of like it's so bad it's good. I think someone was mentioning this in the it's in a sense of Stranger of Paradise, the Final Fantasy Souls thing. Then that like people are saying, oh, it's so bad it's good. Because like the cutscenes are nonsense. I don't know if you saw. I don't know if there was any cutscenes that we saw in the demo when we played it.
The beginning was a bit
There was the
ridiculous,
beginning.
but
There's there's a cutscene that was shown in one of the trailers that I got to in the demo, where the main character is just after you defeat Garland, which is what we did in the demo, but that it continues in the new demo, and there's a Garland vanishes and there's a little girl in his place, and the little girl starts monologuing, and then the main character Jack Garland, with his AirPods in, goes bullshit, and then takes his phone out and plays like what everyone's calling some kind of Limp Bizkit song, walks out of the room, and then it fades back in. He's still listening to that one Limp Bizkit song, and they've like left the building. It's it's insane.
I think this example. I mean,
the only one I can think of. Well, there are two that I can think of, and that's Deadly Premonition. Like Deadly Premonition's the one that I can think of, basically.
but I think the problem is that with games you have to enjoy it, right? So I don't. So I just think there's just more. It's just easier to find games that are good that you don't enjoy because of artistic reasons.
Sure. Yeah.
I think that's just 10 times easier to find.
Because games need to have some kind of objective technical, like, quality to them to be, not necessarily to be good, but to be successful.
But
things, right?
essentially, yeah.
Yeah. Like,
So I think it's just a
like
significant
Deadly
reason why.
Premonition's a thing on its own because like that thing's mad, right? Like, people enjoy that because of how mad the game is, not because the game's good in any technical way, because it's not. It's just insane and hilarious at the same
In
time.
fact, I would say now more than ever, there's more games that people enjoy that are bad than ever.
I guess like
Because-
Battle Wonderworld, right?
Well, people, no way. There's
I
no way
don't- I
people
don't-
enjoy that game. You are capping, Adam. Like, there is no way people enjoy Balan Wonderworld.
I've seen
Like-
people say they like that game.
Yeah, but people lie, Adam.
You're
It's something-
sure.
Something I need to teach you.
It's a game
People
that
lie.
is, no matter who you are, that is objectively bad.
Like that is a game that made me feel motion sick, and there are people who are like, no, it's good. I'm like, no. I walked forward and felt ill.
Yeah, but to be fair, I felt sick. I felt ill playing the original Darkness game.
Oh,
And
the
I feel
Darkness,
like
sure.
I feel like that's more my problem than it is the game. But
Maybe.
I think, but what I would say is that I think now more than ever, where you have essentially YouTubers, streamers, people like that playing a lot of bad games.
Hmm.
I think there is now more than ever more people probably
There's the-
enjoying games that you would describe as technically
The
bad.
so bad it's good kind of thing going for it. But I think, yeah, because of the entertainment
I think
value of it, right?
I think that's relatively popular now.
Hmm.
Before I can't name them because I don't flip and watch them because I don't care. But
Hmm.
like I would say that now there's probably more than ever compared to the past where it would be like why the hell would you do that sort of thing, you know?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Like, the one I had in mind was Deadly Premonition. But I think maybe you're right.
But Deadly Premonition because that was when like when we were younger, right? And we were, if we're talking about being old, when we were younger, and it was just like the place where you learned about games was on websites and in magazines or whatever, and that was the place. And at that time, everyone was reviewing everything, and so Deadly Premonition would gain this cult status because everyone who reviewed it would be like, "This game is insanity! Like this is just crazy!" Like, and then you'd have certain people who vibed with that, like Jim Sterling, and you'd have certain people who wouldn't, right? And it's the same thing. So, like, whereas now we don't have, like, now websites don't endeavor to review every single game that comes out because there's too many games that come out. It's just an insane prospect. But you do get a hell of a lot of streamers and a hell of a lot of YouTubers who play games for entertainment that will play very bad games. You know, and I think people get a lot more enjoyment out of it, and probably you see a lot more sales of them. I would guess.
I would wager
Without
so,
knowing
yeah.
the figures, I would guess bad games sell better now to some extent than they used to.
I think probably. I think the big thing that I noticed then was so with the Deadly Premonition thing. I think it's because reviewers were all over the place with it more than anything as well. But reviewers were definitely kind of like, "This game is terrible. No, this game's not terrible. It's hilarious. No, it's," you know, like the reviews would range from 10 to 1. Like they'd be on a scale of 10 to 1. Or 0 even at that point. I don't think there have been many games that are that I'm trying to think of the word. Like controversial nowadays, maybe. I think controversial is maybe the term. I don't feel like there are that many games that are just like, hey, this could be
divisive.
Yeah, divisive's the word. Divisive's the word. Absolutely, it is. Yeah, divisive. I don't think there are that many games that are that divisive. And then coming from again the Stranger of Paradise view, I don't know if you saw the Metacritics on that, but there's like I think 8 out of 10 is the highest it got. But it also got a 1 out of 10 in NME, which I'm like, oh, it's pretty low. That's not a big
game, right?
Hmm?
If you don't connect to a game, you don't connect.
You don't connect with it. Yeah, and I'm not like shaming the person who gave it a 1 out of 10 or anything. I think that's it's fine. Obviously, if they didn't enjoy the game, they didn't enjoy the game. Who cares, right? But I just found it very interesting that that was the big like this game may be the big divisive game of right now, because some people are seeing it for the meme and some people are seeing it for the sort of disaster piece that it is, right? I don't know.
I don't know if they will though. I mean, maybe just because it's got the word Final Fantasy attached to it.
You
But I
don't
feel
see
again,
that
I
they
feel,
will
I feel
what?
like
You don't see that they will what?
I don't think people care. I mean, it's just I just think it's one of those things where like we're at a stage where people play terrible games for a fucking job, you know?
Ah, yeah, there are
People
definitely people
people
like that as well.
people watch that as like their entertainment and people play it as their job. I don't think.
Mm.
I think if anything, the fact that I think actually Final Fantasy, Strangers of Paradise is probably more likely to gain success in the method it is than it is being a competent game.
That's probably
I
fair as
think
well.
if you put out a sort of vaguely competent Final Fantasy game that's kind of in the structure of Dark Souls, but not really,
Mm-hmm.
I think people are like, okay.
Yeah,
Whereas I think if you're
it's
like,
mid in it, right?
yo, there's this Final Fantasy game, right, which is sort of tied into older Final Fantasy games, which has like boss battles that are kind of like Dark Souls but not, and also it has the worst dialogue you've ever seen in your life. Then I
True,
think
yeah.
people are going to be way more interested in it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. I think that's probably you're probably right, and that's probably what it's captured is the whole no, we're terrible. The kind of like the room aspect of things, right? But obviously that's not going to be for everyone, is it? You're right. Like people have watched the room and were like, "No, this is terrible," and not enjoyable on any aspect.
Wrong people.
I've not seen the room, you know. I do want to see it, but I've not seen it.
How you not? How have you not?
I
seen
I,
it?
I have
I've
seen
just
the
not seen
room,
it.
and it is in some ways I think it's a masterpiece of a film because like it's so incredibly bad. Where there was a period in time where I genuinely thought that it was intentional. That it was intentional.
It's it's definitely a thing. The room. No, I've never seen it. I just never got around to it. I don't know where I could even watch it now. Like YouTube, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
But
it was on when I first watched it. It was just all on YouTube.
yeah, I guess it would be a YouTube thing. I've never got around to watching it. I'd have to like. I'd love to do a the room night where we just watch the room. But it's just never
I've
happened.
got the Blu-ray, bro.
You got the Blu-ray? Does it have any
Blu-ray
special
signed-
features?
I don't know, but it's signed by him. But I don't know if it's got.
Shit, what? You got a signed Blu-ray?
Yeah, I've met him.
What was that
I went
like?
to I went to a screening. Me and my girlfriend went to a screening of it in London,
Hmm.
where him and Mark, the other main character in the room, were
Yeah.
there.
Hi,
and it was,
Mark.
what do you call it?
Oh, hi, Mark.
And I have a Blu-ray that's signed by him. I don't know if it has special. Genuinely, I've never looked if it has special features.
How was meeting Tommy Wiseau?
Very weird.
What did he do? I want to know everything.
He's just as weird as he is. The thing is I don't. So without seeing the room, I don't know if you can fully appreciate.
Oh no, I've seen the bits. Like I know what happens.
No, I know, but there's. It's not. What I'm talking about is his general demeanor throughout the entire film. He acts in he's such a weird actor
Mm.
and moves so weirdly and acts, and he's like that in real life. Like he's just
Yeah.
so odd in real life, and I don't. He's exactly how you would expect him to be. There is like, if you watch the film and then you go, I wonder what that man is like in real life. You're like, it's like he is in the film. He is the same person. That is him. Like
He's not acting. That's just what he is.
There's lots of discussions about whether or not there's also discussions about whether or not the room is actually kind of autobiographical in a sense. Like, is this actually something that happened in his life? Like,
Yeah.
he seems to be drawing on certain things that have happened to him or whatever. But like, really, like, he is that guy. That is him. So like the way he moves, the way he talks, the way he's just an odd dude. He's exactly what he's like in real life. There is nothing. He laughs like that in real life. He talks and just does stuff in. He's just odd. He's just odd. It was bizarre.
Sure.
But yeah.
How was
There
Mark? Was Mark nice?
Yeah, he was a really nice guy actually. He was a really nice guy. I was wearing when I went to see him, I was wearing a Hey Ash t-shirt.
Mm.
One of the first t-shirts they ever released that I had.
All right.
And he complimented it. He was like, "Oh, I really like your t-shirt, bro." Like as I walked up, so we walked
Oh,
up to them.
what a nice
We
guy.
walked up to them, and Tommy Wiseau was busy doing something.
Sure, yeah, that's his thing,
He
right?
was just he was. I don't even remember what he was doing. I think he was signing something for someone else or something.
Mm.
And it was just Mark. And I walked up and went, "Hey, nice to meet you." And he went,
Did
"Hey,
you
I really
say
like your
hi,
t-shirt,
Mark?
man."
You say, "Oh, hi,
No,
Mark."
no, because I suspect literally every other person in the cinema. But
Yeah.
I was just like, "Oh, hey," I was like, "Hey, man, nice to meet you." And he was like, "Hey, I really like your t-shirt." I was like, "Oh, thank you." Like he was a really nice guy, and like he was just, yeah, no, he was just a really nice guy. And then it was like, so I was in. So the photo is like Mark, me,
Mm.
Tommy, and then my girlfriend at the end, and yeah, it was just he was like a really nice guy, and then Tommy was just so. All right, so my girlfriend bought a poster and wanted to get it signed by him.
Mm.
And so he was like, he was like, he goes. I hand him the poster. So I hand him the DVD,
Yeah.
the Blu-ray. He signs it. He writes a message on it. I can't remember what he wrote on it. Or maybe he just signed. I think he just signed that one because it's quite small. So he just signed that, and then he hands it to Mark. Mark signs it, and then I hand Tommy the poster, and he takes the poster from me, and he full on snatches it out of my hand. Like I'm sort of handing it to him, and he's just like rapidly just like grabs it, and I'm like, it's just an odd way to take something.
Mm.
Like everything he does is just odd. And then he goes, "Who's this for?" Oh, and I say it, and I go, "Oh, it's for it's for my girlfriend." And he goes, "How'd you spell her name?" And I'm like, C H. And he goes, "No, slower." And I'm like,
Jesus.
C H. And I'm seeing him like really thinking about it as he's like writing it. And I spell out the name. He writes it down,
Mm.
and then he goes to hand it back to me. And then as he goes to hand it back, I go to grab it, and out of nowhere he spins around again, pushes it up against the wall again where he was signing it. He had it up against the wall as he was signing it. And he goes, "No, no, wait." He spins around, puts it back, and he goes, "P.S. Be good." And then hands it back to me again. I was like, "Thanks, man." It's just everything he does is just like that. It's just weird. It's just weird. Not bad.
No, yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah, yeah.
weird.
Yeah, he's just
Just
a weird
weird.
guy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's enjoyable though, right? That's what's fun about him.
Oh yeah. No, I enjoyed it.
But I guess you wouldn't want to be in a room with him for more than, I guess 10 minutes.
I mean, I technically was. I watched the whole film where he was there, but yeah,
I
it's.
mean, but you weren't engaging with him
I
for.
can't imagine what what living with him would be like. I mean, like so obviously there's the book that came out
Mm.
that Mark wrote
Oh yes,
because of the maker, I can't remember, disaster artist,
yes.
because and in that he does describe it because he did live with Tommy for a significant chunk of time before the film, I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember how long, and I've seen the film The Disaster Artist, but I haven't read the book.
Okay.
I probably should, but I can only imagine. I can only imagine.
True. Jesus, that's a thing. It's a thing. Wow. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Tommy Wiseau is he's a human being.
He's a Donny.
Indeed, a Donny is the correct phrase. Oh, thank you very much, everyone who came by. It's been nice having everybody back together and talking about the fun video games.
Oh, it's been wonderful.
It's been a good old time. I've enjoyed it. What a good one. Yeah, thank you very much,
Been a
everyone.
really good laugh.
We've had a good laugh. We've had a good time. We've had the loves. We've had the laughs. We've had the tears. It's been good. Yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for listening, watching. If you're on YouTube, we will be back next week with another podcast. And you can always just subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to see more of us, because if you do that, it'll be good.
It'd be great.
It'd be great, as Louis says. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
See you later.
All right.
That was so low energy, Charlie.
What, the end?
you're just your little bye then.
Oh, I thought you were ending it earlier than that. That's why I didn't say anything. I was just sort of left it. I didn't realize you were waiting for us to say something. I thought you just ended it. And then when Louis said whatever, and you went, that's what Louis said. And I was like, oh, it's still on. Oh, okay. Sorry.